Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today I want to talk about American politics in context to Joker Folie. So, Joker Folie released this weekend, and spoilers for Joker Folie here, but I think there's a lot of political speech in Joker Folie. Very much so, because this is about a gentleman who is constantly Arthur Fleck, who has a second identity, which is Joker, right? And Arthur Fleck is constantly deciding whether he's going to engage in political violence. That's political speech. So Todd Phillips and Warner Brothers is engaging in very direct political speech with a very clear message, right? So I think it's worth discussing Joker Folie from its perspective as being a political message container. And make no mistake, that is clearly what Joker Folie is. It functions far more as a messenger for political statement than it does as entertainment. Absolutely. All right. So let's get into this. So Grace Randolph did a fantastic review of this film. And at one point in her review, she said, Arthur Fleck is clearly mentally ill, right? Now, I love Grace Randolph. She's the best movie reviewer in the whole world. She works harder. She's smarter. Her content is way better. She's literally the best movie reviewer on the planet, bar none. Nobody comes close, right? And I have the receipts for that. We can have that discussion anytime you want, right? Don't even think about bringing Chris Stuckman's name up. That guy is a garbage reviewer. His work is garbage. His work is garbage. I think it is abominable that Chris Stuckman has more subscribers on YouTube than Grace Randolph. It is one of the strongest cases for feminism being true, that women are treated unfairly. She works every single day, does phenomenal content. Chris Stuckman rolls up and plops out a review every now and then between directing his bad films. Like it's abominable. Okay, let me stay focused here. All right, Grace Randolph is a great reviewer. She's 100% wrong about Arthur Fleck being mentally ill. And the reason why is, if Arthur Fleck is mentally ill, the movie's over. There's no discussion and there's nothing to discuss, and Arthur Fleck doesn't matter, right? Because if he's mentally ill, our culture only has 3 responses to that. They medicate you, right? And then your behavior goes away and you become normal, right? Like, oh, thank goodness he's Arthur Fleck again and we don't have to watch the Joker, right? Nobody goes to see the movie Arthur Fleck. People go to see the movie Joker, right? And people love the Joker. People love the Joker, all right? Nobody loves Arthur Fleck, right? That whole be yourself, no, be the Joker. You're like, okay? All right, so let me get this all the way out. What does America do to people who are mentally ill? We do 3 things. We medicate them, we asylum them, we put them into an asylum, or we ignore them, right? That's it. That's all there is. And the reason why is we don't need to deal with whatever you're dealing with, right? And the reason why is you don't have any agency, right? This is just a condition that you have that makes you do this thing. You don't have any agency. And this world deals with people with agency. Deals with people who are making their own decisions, have power, and have agency, right? If you don't have agency, nobody in this world wants to spend 10 minutes dealing with you, right? And if you're mentally ill, you don't have any agency. You're not making your own decisions, and America will not deal with you in any way beyond the 3, the triple threat, right? Medicate you until you're normal, air quotes. Asylum you so that nobody has to look at you or deal with you, except some interns, or ignore you. And we do that a lot. We ignore a ton of mental illness, right? And so that's the issue. And the other issue is, this is like, if you watch Joker, everybody he killed for a reason, right? They had all done abominable things to him, right? And like the one guy, went in every day and mocked a little person for being little, right? That guy needed, come on. If Joker is like, hey, I've watched this too long, I'm gonna murder you, right? And then the Johnny Carson stand-in, he was being, incredibly dismissive to him, saying he didn't have power. He foo-foed. He totally foo-foed, right? Like, he foo-foed. There you go, right? So this is the issue, right? Arthur Fleck is not mentally ill, and Grace is 100% wrong. And this is the issue. If he is mentally ill, and I think that, and this is the issue we have, and this is why nobody wants to go talk to a couch scribbler. Nobody wants to talk to a couch scribbler, because if you start talking to a couch scribbler, the only thing that's going to happen to you is one of those three things. You're going to get medicated, you're going to get asylumed, or you're going to get ignored. Period. End of sentence. That's it. Right? Now, let's take this to the political edge, right? Tim Walz said something brilliant in the recent debate. He said, just because you're mentally ill, that doesn't mean you're gonna. He said that doesn't mean you're gonna be violent. I think what he meant to say, that doesn't mean you're gonna commit political violence, because that's the conversation we're having right now. Is let's talk about political violence. And why are we, and actually that is progress in America, the fact that we're talking about political violence. Serial killers, they can't even get any real numbers up. Like, you know, like back in the day, you used to do 30, 40, 50 kills, right? Now you're lucky to get five murders out of a single serial killer. Serial killers are really no longer a threat at all, right? They've really kind of disappeared. They can't get their counts up, right? So, and then gang violence, it's ridiculous. Where there's cameras everywhere, catching people has become trivial. Gang violence is ridiculously easy to deal with. In our modern day, where the police are outfitted with military technology and surveillance is everywhere, dealing with gangs are nothing. So gang violence really doesn't matter. Domestic violence, I think, nobody's getting married. Nobody's having kids, right? Like domestic, like there's no wives or children to have this problem with anymore, right? Like, and the traditional family has become a mother caring for a child, right, with no father even remotely in sight, right? And so domestic violence is extremely unlikely in that case, because very few mothers have any desire to. They don't have that. That is just not. It's not, like, the numbers are way down, right? So the only violence that's really left is political violence, and all of it appears to be aimed directly at Donald Trump right now, which is shocking, right? Like, it is incredibly shocking that political violence is now a special category of event that is preserved only for Caucasian males. That's astounding. That is absolutely astounding. Like that, like I don't think anybody would believe, hey, if you're a person of color, you're safe as houses. No political violence will ever be committed against you. But if you're if you're a person of color, all you're gonna have to dodge is interviews. If you're a white male running for president, all you're gonna have to dodge bullets every day. You better put your vest on and run quick, right? Like, and that's where we're at. And that is an astonishing occurrence. Absolutely nobody saw that coming. Nobody saw that coming, right? Absolutely not. That was that really was not even imagined that was gonna happen, right? So with all that clicked in, it really is amazing where we're actually where we're coming out on the other side of this, right? So I think Tim Walz is 100%, and that was a really good clarification. He was like, just because you're mentally ill does not mean you're going to commit political violence. Here's the kicker. Not only was he wise on what he said, but he's very wise on inversion. If you take what he said and you invert it, he's still right. In fact, I think he's even more right, right? If you commit political violence, people want to just label you mentally ill, right? No, man, no, right? Not everyone who commits political violence is mentally ill, and we have to. And when they say ill, they're like, and you're hearing this all the time. They're like, all the people who tried to assassinate presidents were mentally ill. No, man. We got to remember, like, this nation was built on hard choices, right? And one of those hard choices was like, we got a king we need to throw down, right? And they took it out, right? Like they like long irons, short irons, Let's get it done. Some people are going to get murked. And that's what happened, right? We had a tyrant, we threw him down, right? And people, and they dropped bodies to get there, right? And our founding fathers and every revolutionary out there, they were not mentally ill. They were making a calculated choice to come out the other side of this, right? And so that's where we land. They were making a calculated choice, right? So not everyone who's mentally ill is going to commit every political violence, and not everyone who commits political violence is mentally ill, right? We need to save space. We need to allow mental illness to be preserved and saved for people who need it, right? There are a few people, right, who need to be put into an asylum. That is a thing, right? Like, if you know, and we need to preserve that for the people who need it as a solution. We can't just take this label and slap it on people who are making a calculus, and making the same decisions our founding fathers made and the revolutionaries made, in my humble opinion. Every single word you just heard is my humble opinion. Nothing more, nothing less. The important part is when I get to hear your humble opinion, when you get in the comments and send your traffic. Please consider like, subscribing, and have a fetch millennium.